Hey YouTube, welcome to my channel. Today I'll be going over the steps that I took to build this mirror wall behind me. If you're new here, please like the video and don't forget to click that subscribe button. Stay tuned. Here's a list of the tools that I used. Feel free to screenshot this. And the materials needed for the project. I'll post some links in the description. The first thing you need to do is figure out what wall you want to build on. Get the dimensions of the mirrors you would like to use, then purchase a roll of painter's tape. From there, measure the height and the width of your wall to determine how many mirrors can fit within that space. After you get your estimated measurements down, put some painter's tape on the wall to get a preview of what the spacing will look like. Once you are happy with the preview, then start measuring the amount of material that you need to purchase. The next step is framing the wall. This is the most important part to ensure that everything will be spaced evenly at the end. I cut each piece of wood with the miter saw as I went along. You'll be using your leveler to make sure the wood is leveled and the speed square on the corners. I first installed the outside vertical pieces, so these left and right pieces here, and then I installed the top horizontal piece. It's important to make sure that you do not push this top piece up against the ceiling, because as you can see, the ceiling is not leveled. So install it straight, and whatever gap is left, you could fill those in with caulking later. From there, I installed the center vertical piece, then the horizontal pieces, like so, and then I filled in the center of those right here. So just like that on each side. One thing to note, on the bottom of the vertical pieces, I cut them in angles so that it transitions smoother into the trim. Next is to fill the nail holes with wood filler. While that was drying, I used the time to trace out mirrors within each square, so I had a reference of where to put the mirrors once it was time to install them. After the wood filler dried, I sanded it down to be level with the wood. In this picture here, you could just see how much lighter it looks since it's been sanded. Mounting the mirrors was tough since my wife was at work during this step. I was able to mount the mirrors by cutting a scrap piece of wood the length of the vertical gap so it could hold the mirror upright. I also pre-placed painter's tape on the wall to secure each corner of the mirror when mounted. Once all that was set up, I added adhesive to the back of the mirror, put it against the wall on top of the scrap wood, and made sure to use a leveler before taping everything down. I believe I let the mirror sit at least 24 hours before taking the tape off. Here is a picture showing all of the mirrors curing against the wall. Note that there is no mirror on the bottom right corner. This is because there's a power outlet inside. I had to measure the outlet's location and went to a professional shop to get it cut. This is the step where you'll be putting the miter saw to most use. Based on your mirror measurements, cut a 45-degree angle on each side of the trim. For example, this mirror measures 24 inches vertically. So you need to get that 24-inch measurement of the mirror, make your line, and then cut an outwards 45-degree angle on the trim. I cut one full frame out, then used a brad nail gun to install it to the wall for one mirror so that I could make sure everything fit correctly. After this pass, I cut the rest of the pieces at once. I would install one of the vertical pieces first, then both horizontal pieces, and then for the last piece, I would fit in the fourth vertical piece. It's time to fill and sand the new nail holes from the mirror trim installation. Also, caulk all of the gaps that paint won't fill to create a seamless transition where the wall and wood surfaces meet. The painting step can vary depending on the look you want. If you want your trim the same color of the wall, then this step will be a lot faster for you. And if you don't like to paint, then I suggest you do this instead. All you need to do is mask off the mirrors and the bottom trim and paint away. In my case, I wanted the trim to match the existing trim in the house so that it would stand out more. For me, this was a two-step process. First was masking all of the mirrors and painting all of the wood white. As you could see, I was a little sloppy because I knew I would go back and cut these in. I use a 1-inch paintbrush on the mirror trim pieces, and for the 2.5-inch wide pieces of wood, I use a small foam roller. The next phase was to mask off everything white, then cut in the wall color. This was very tedious work that took a lot of time, so just be patient. Now you can take a step back and enjoy your work. If you did make it this far, don't forget to click the like button. And if you found this video helpful, subscribe to the channel. I'll be looking to make similar videos in the future. If you have any questions or feedback, I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. With that being said, that's all I have. I'll catch y'all later.